being in leadership is not easy. Sometimes people will talk about you, sometimes people will come after you. When you're a leader, it ain't an easy deal. Those of you who have been there, Chris Bennett, y'all know it is not easy being in leadership. Some of them shoot at you, some of them talk bad about you, and all of that. All I can tell you is you better be ready, because when you step up, when that drum major instinct gets you and you step out in front, it's going to come after you. But Gabby, when they shoot at you, you do like Neo, remember in The Matrix? You got to be ready to go. You got to be ready to go. Don't let them just shoot at you and let you get eaten. You got to get ready. So when we really look at what's going on, and 2012 is going to be a very big year. Some are already saying it's going to be a historic year in our country. It's going to be a year of turbulence across the world. When you look at it right now, the world is standing at a precipice. The world is on the brink, and this country is on edge. Adam Smith, one of the best Congress people you're going to find. You're on the committee that oversees the security and looking at international events. You know, we're on edge right here. We got all this infighting in Seattle, and our institutions here in Seattle fighting. We think it's going to get tougher. Well, I submit to you here and now that the fight that's going on, we need to have a great debate here in Seattle, here in Washington, D.C., and yes, around the world. We need to answer one question. And that question, that great debate we need to have is, are we or are we not our brothers and sisters' keeper? Because that's what it's all about. Who gets what? Who gets what? When you really boil it down to, and all you got to do is go back to what Dr. King said in that speech, and I'll go back when he talked about the Good Samaritan. He gave him the example of the Good Samaritan who was passed by. Samaritan from another place, from another country, found him and helped him. And he said the reason that he thought they passed him by, Reverend Williams, because they were scared. They thought on the Jericho Road, the bloody path they called it, that they were going to be in big trouble. And so what he wanted to do was to make sure that nobody got hurt on that path, so they wouldn't stop to help him. But the Samaritan came across because his own people asked themselves, they said, if I stop Madeline to help him, Cal Shirley, what might happen to me? But the Samaritan turned the question and said, if I don't stop to help him, Nancy, what will happen to him? That's the question that we need to start asking. And people ask me so often, they always say, well, Nate, why do you go out and help so many people? Why do you fight for all of these causes? I can't tell you except that it's in me. They said you fight for farm workers' rights. You don't understand. I fought for farm workers' rights because of Miss Espinoza. When I was trying to make ends meet and help Mom and them out, I used to cut beets and pick grapes and cherries and apples over in the orchards over in eastern Washington. You gotta understand me. When we'd get up there at 3 o'clock in the morning with the migrant workers and we'd be on those branches of Stella Ortega when we're about to fold out because the dew was still and the branches were slippery, you had those migrant workers with a baby on their back, with a bucket in their hand, trying to pick apples. You don't understand. When the man got ready to fire me because I wasn't moving fast enough, getting my row of beets done, Miss Espinoza with her back killing her. A baby on the side wrapped in a blanket, Gabby, and a short hoe. You don't know what a short hoe is, but a short hoe tears up people's back. With this short hoe, she did her 2 rows, and then Reverend McKinney, she switched hands and reached over and helped me so that I could keep up. I fight for Miss Espinoza. Why do you fight for API issues? I have to fight for Miss Espinoza. Why do you fight for Asian Pacific Islanders? Because when my job depended on when Senator Fleming said, go make a name out here in this community, it was Ruth Wu who talked to Ruby Chow and said, take it easy on him. It was Ruth Wu who introduced me to Aki Karoshi and Aki Karoshi to B and B to Auntie Toma. And these guys took me in and we went in and Art Chen got me on the Chinese nursing home board and we built Cairo because we were able to switch it. Those are the things that we were able to do. But finally, as I close now my last 15 seconds, you say, why do you fight for the hungry? My daughter, Gabby. I'm so proud of her, beautiful, smart, and talented, but she started a feeding program about 7 years ago, feeding the hungry. And what she did with this program, it started out with about 10 people. This year with Daryl and Yvonne Powell and their family, we fed 350 people. And we fed it because she wanted to make a difference, but But more importantly, she didn't understand because she doesn't see her dad get too emotional other than yelling and screaming all the time. But to see the eyes of these people when they come to the car. Because what she didn't understand even is that those eyes of those people used to be the eyes of my family. They used to have at Christmas and Thanksgiving a Salvation Army truck came by and it gave you your Thanksgiving dinner, and they would let you choose if you wanted the toys or the box of food. And so Mama would take the food and she'd go and buy the toys. If she had a little money left, Ollie, she'd go and buy the toys. But the key to this is you had to wait for the truck. And when the truck came, you had to run outside because if not, everybody else would go to the truck and they'd raid it and you wouldn't have anything there. Greg, we were outside one day waiting in North Marcus, the truck was running late and it got cold over in Pasco. And it got cold in Mill, so we went inside just for a minute. And there was old raggedy TV in the house and we were trying to get the Notre Dame football game on it and mess with the antenna, the rabbit ears, and with the clothes hanger actually. But by the time we got the clothes hanger right and got the TV, they said the truck is outside. And we turned to run outside, but it was too late. And every time we're giving out these meals downtown, I always try to finish before somebody comes up, because Lacey, when they come running up to the truck and there's nothing left, Bill Garling, I know that feeling. That was the worst Thanksgiving ever. But thank God we had a father in the house who said, I'm going to do what he needed to do. And Daddy went out and I don't know where he got it from. Clearly he hadn't had no money. Got fired because of his voting rights activity. But when he came back, Wally had a chicken in the box. Normally he had some salami. He had some bread. He had a couple cans of beans. And we didn't even like them old red beans. Didn't get them done long enough. You couldn't soak them. But we didn't argue. We ate what we had. And he said, never again will we ever be put in this position. We always took the boxes. So understand, when we're down there feeding them, Gabby, when your daddy looks away from you, because when I see them, I see me. I fight for them. So I just want to tell you that in closing, if you don't do anything else, I want you to remember what they do in Africa. They talk about the elephants over in Africa, Armani. See, there was a big group of elephants, big herd, and they was going across the Serengeti one day. No problem. They crossed the river and they got to the other side. See, and as they were marching and they got over their kids, they looked at it and they thought, this is good. Everything is good. But all of a sudden, from the back, one of the other elephants looked at him and said, brother leader, sister leader, look behind us. So they looked back, and on the other side of that mountain, on the other side of that river, was the little elephant. See, to the little elephant, that river was too deep. The current was too strong. They didn't know how to get across it. Georgia McDade, they were scared. They couldn't figure out James Donaldson how to get across. But when the leaders of that group looked back and saw him and said, we got to do something now to get these elephants across. She said, you big elephants, I need you back in the water. She told these big elephants to get back in that river, and they got down there side by side, Chief Bailey. They got down side by side and got tight. And they got so tight that the little elephants were able to run across their back and get to the other side, because they knew the little elephants was the future of that herd. And if the little elephants couldn't cross into the land, then they couldn't cross in the land either. So they went back and got him. So today I'm asking you big elephants in the crowd. I know you've done your job. I know you leaders in education. I know you leaders in law enforcement. I know you leaders around have done your job, but I'm asking you, Miss Birdwell, to get back in the river. Get back there to help our kids in school. Get back there to help the homeless. Get back there to help the last, the least, the left out.